Hello there everybody and welcome back to another episode of the Soulver Weekly Forecast. I'm Courtney Kassman.
And I'm Alison Maiden.
And we have a very, very interesting question we will be looking into today, guys. So we had a lovely lady write in on our Instagram and Facebook polls. So we always do every maybe like week to fortnight. If we need some questions, guys, great to pop them in. We love reading them and choosing from them. So we have the question today, Alison. What is end spirit? Yes. What is the most important truth about the future of humanity that people need to hear right now?
I love that question.
It really popped out, that one.
Yeah.
It's more of like the general message. What do we have?
I know that people they get very focused on what's going on, and we do have followers from other countries as well as Australia, but Australia, you've been asking a lot of questions about Australia, which is fair enough. It's fair enough. There's been a lot going on here, but also everywhere in the world. So that is a superb question to whoever wrote that in. Thank you very much. And we are going to have a look here now, and I believe that this August is going to be a turning point for a lot of things, because we have a massive shift that is occurring right now on the planet. And if you look at what's actually happening, like even in the news, you will see the protests that are going on. You will see, the peace talks between Trump and other world leaders to try and get the Ukraine situation sorted out. And there's a lot going on. And add to that the earthquakes, multiple earthquakes that are happening on every continent. So when we start to sort of see these things, we go, right, well, there's a big influx of energy that has been going on, and that's bringing forward this massive shift and change that we're all going through. So August is a key month. We've always said that, but it has turned out to be, I think probably the month here of 2025, which is going to then, when we look back at it, say, well, it all started then, right? We have a key player in all of this now. She often pops up, our Queen of Cups, and I do believe that there's going to be a shift in a lot of the leadership roles more towards the divine feminine. Now, not every female in politics is obviously going to be on the side of the white hats, as we say, but what I do feel here is this lady is, and she's going to definitely take charge of situations, particularly around Europe and even so far as going into the UK. And I think she's going to have a heavy influence, or a heavy-handed influence around those decisions that are being made at the moment about peace and peace across the region, really. So she's a good influence and a good world leader coming up. You'll see a lot more talk coming out of the big government bodies as well, where you have the UN, you have the WHO, you have all of those things. There's going to be a lot more of that going on. So what I'm going to say to you here, guys, is that it may look like a mess and it may feel like a mess, but it's actually being sorted. And the most important thing for all of us at this time is to turn our back on what no longer serves us. Now, for me personally, that has meant turning off the television. I do not watch mainstream TV anymore. In fact, it bores me to tears, or it irks me. I feel that I can't be looking at the things that people want to program me with because it doesn't sit right in my being, and my whole resonance, my whole being doesn't agree with what I'm seeing. And so sure, turning on a funny show or whatever, that's a different story. That's a bit of light entertainment. But I'm talking about, the truth of things coming through here. And so for a while now, I've been getting my truth from other sources and checking. And I think it's vital for all of us to do our own checking. And all this do your research stuff, I mean, that's been said to death, but it's not wrong. But you have to start really looking at things, especially, and we've covered this before, Court, where the AI scenarios now are frighteningly accurate to the point of where we start to look at it and think, God, is that really happening? So it's really important for us to look at things objectively and not just take everything at face value. Turn your back on what no longer serves you on a personal level as well, whether that's people that are upsetting you every time you're with them, groups that no longer, feel like they're your vibe. Move on to things that do feel like they're your vibe, guys. And that may be just peace and quiet. No, it was for me the other day. I had to get out into nature. Did a little video while I was there. Right. So the worries of the world are on people's shoulders now. Now, in saying that, exactly with what I was just saying, the programming of things. If you're constantly watching the news, etc., you are being programmed. And this is like the negative
TV
all
program.
the time. Yeah.
TV program.
Exactly. It's like everything is negative. There's where do we see the lightheartedness? Where do we see the good in people? Where do we see those good stories from? That's what you've got to look at, because there is a lot of good in the world still. But the balance has to be right. Now, the Nine of Swords is all about nagging worries. And if the more people that are worried about things, the more the control of the negative aspect of our world, the deep state, the dark aspect of our world, we're going to see them start gaining more control of the people because the people are scared and they want, the big brother, the other person to take care of it.
That's it.
So you have to start taking responsibility for yourselves and really start gaining more insight into what it is that's in your heart, what you desire, what you want, and not just saying, oh, well, that's just the way it is. Because if we all said that, we would never move forward in life, right? So it's very important that we try to sort of look at what our objectives are and then follow those people who have the same objectives as yourself. And there are people out there who are really trying to do this. Now, in every country, we have good people and people that are really trying to do good things for people. And I know that you're brainwashed by the TV saying that this one's doing that, this one's doing this. Honestly, if it feels right and resonates in your heart, it is right for you personally.
Yes.
Now, we have to have a bit of patience, guys, because it does seem like the actual change on Earth is not actually yet here. We are in the process of changing, and it's a bit like walking down that really dark tunnel and we can see the light at the end of the tunnel, but it's not here yet. And what I do see coming for all of us is better understanding of how it really works. Now, in saying that, we go to the 12 laws of the universe. What we put out, we get back, obviously, law of attraction, but also we are, as a global mass, anything we are thinking is actually coming into being. And if you look at everyone's confusion, etc., and you look at the world, earthquakes, tornadoes, cyclones, weather disruption, some of it's man-made, but most of it is because people are frightened and scared and like we're in turmoil. We need to calm everything down and know that we have trust and faith in the divine source and the spirit, in God, in whoever you believe or whatever your vocabulary is, it's still the same thing. It is the life force of all humanity. Now, we have a lot going on here in the divine feminine at the moment. This is about being practical, being very observant, understanding things right at a very deep level. One thing I've noticed, Courtney, is that people don't read anymore.
No, they really don't. No. It's just Google search nowadays, isn't it?
They skim over things. And so, get some reading done, you guys. Absolutely look at something very in-depth. If you see something like on a video and you go, that's interesting, but I want to know whether that's right or not, go into it more deeply. Yeah. Have a look at also the search engines that are not monitored by the powers that be. And also look here at your business prowess. Now, this could well be those people around you who are starting to feel like they can't work in the 3D vibe anymore. The sheeple, the ones that just keep going to the same job day in, day out. It's not okay for some of you anymore. It's okay for some, and that's great. If that's your vibe, fantastic for you. But what we're saying here is that some of you, it will be changing the way that feels. And so you want more control and more autonomy. And look, there's multiple jobs these days that you can do from home, etc. There's so much.
I think 2020 literally started that is what can we do at home now, which is beneficial now.
Yes, it's more, I think, and you're quite right, the COVID situation did change things dramatically on what we do from home. And I think too, a lot of the governments are realising that people can't work a 5-day week and be productive because they are bringing in the shorter work weeks. And so we are going to see here that there's going to be massive changes around after this. And what I do love about what Trump has done in America is that he has delivered on his promises to help make things easier for people there. And they have actually changed their tax system, which is going to abolish income tax for the lower socioeconomic areas, which is going to be such a huge boost to these people. Now, we want to see this roll out around the world. We want to see this roll out to every country because it can be done. Clearly, if it can be done in a place like America, which has got
so many
people.
Yeah.
It can be done elsewhere. And if with the right governing in place, we are all going to see this massive shift and change. Now, I believe this is a version of what people used to call Jasara and Nasara. Look that up if you don't know what it is. And you will soon see that we are headed for money and autonomy in our work. So we don't have to do jobs we don't want to do anymore. We will all be happy to contribute. And this is going to be the start of good things. If we don't comply to the rules and regulations that the current scenarios around us are bringing in, meaning, the leaders that we have in place at the moment, it looks like it's a lot of tears and sadness for us. Now, that's not a democracy. That's not where we can have a say about it. This is like, let's tax you till the bloody cows come home on every damn thing in your life. Sorry, you might have to bleep some of that. But we have certainly still got a ways to go. Now, I've said this before, Australia, unfortunately, is going to be one of the last countries on the list to benefit from these changes. It will take, I think, 3 years. I keep getting the 3. We had a wonderful astrologer mention on our page. Thank you so much.
Yep.
Such great insight you brought to that. And you did actually tell us that, yes, even in the astrology aspect of Australia, it was going to be 3 years. So thank you so much for that. So we are seeing the 3 being the most important number for the Australian people. Now, in other countries like the UK, for instance, that's going to happen a lot faster. Okay, the next 18 months in the UK, we will see massive shifts and changes. We're also going to see the government outed there and a new government put in place, which will bring in these wonderful changes that are already happening in America. So I think that the way it will flow is it's going to flow through, from there it's going to flow through the European countries and UK and come and filter down gradually, to the other countries. So here we have, keep a lid on it, guys. People are asking me, what shall we do? What shall we do? Okay. Have you ever heard the term head down, bum up?
Yep.
It's a good Australian term.
It is.
It relates to riding a bike, actually, when you want to go fast, okay? But what we're saying is just get on with it, work hard, get those focused things done, like what you want to do with your life.
Definitely.
And just keep moving forward and don't listen to all the rubbish that's going on outside. Just keep your focus. If you want change, go through the right channels, okay? And I do think there's going to be an amazing shift on this planet in the next 3 years. It's going to be incredible. We are going to start to see some of these wonderful things happen. It absolutely lifted my heart when I saw Trump drop those taxes, because I thought finally Jasara and Nasara has been talked about for years.
So many.
Since Bill Clinton was in government. That's how long. And it's finally starting to happen. There's light at the end of this very long tunnel, guys. It's very important for us to realise that Spirit is on our side through all of this. We can call upon them to help us and regain our faith and know that we are still riding that bike. But the minute that we start to wobble and fall off of it, they're ready to put us back on. We've just got to keep that faith going, and happiness is here.
I love that. And I love the card as well. It's got all of the astrology. So confirmation about that astrologer as well.
Yes, amazing. Well, everything, and astrology is a wonderful tool to see where we have actually got, the planets do have meaning, and they do bring
the energy behind
to us. So it's very important to understand that, it's like you can't pick fruit off a tree in the middle of winter if there's nothing on there. You've got to wait for the right time to harvest. So there is definitely going to be upliftment, happiness, and good times ahead.
I love that. Wow.
It's really
Beautiful
wonderful.
cards.
And as they're saying here, the High Priestess is indicating, yes, we still have a little bit of stuff to go through, guys. It's not terrible and devastating as it once was, okay? But now we're starting to get to, as I say, the pointy end. Everything is starting to look a lot better. You will still see grabs for power in this whole transition. The next thing I feel will be limitations on travel, and we may see the WHO trying to control us again through some strange pandemic type scenario. I don't think it's going to cut it this time, guys. I think people are too wise.
Yes.
So let's just keep an eye on how things are flowing, stand back as an observer, looking at this, and just get on with what you're doing, strongly and powerfully believing in the outcome that is going to be amazing for all of us.
Wow, that was such an amazing reading, Alison, and thank you so much for that, and thank you so much for your question that you wrote in.
Yes.
That was a fabulous question.
It was.
Beautiful confirmation on so many levels, I think, for so many people. But just like with all the videos, take what you want, leave what you don't.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining us today, guys. Comments down below, like, share, subscribe, and we will see you next week.
Bye.